We've been here in Singapore for a couple of days now and we already ate a lot of good stuff. But we also came across some things that smelled and looked delicious and that we haven't tried yet. So the plan for today is to go on one big tour to give them all a go. This is our first stop. It's called A Noodle Story and let's find out if it has a happy end.
The mission of this place is to make one of the best noodle dishes that they can imagine. It's basically a mix of Japanese style ramen and also Hong Kong style noodles, and the result is this noodle dish that is also served with a wonton soup. Since they opened, they also got the Bib Gourmand reward from the Michelin Guide every year. So that's a pretty good sign, and also the food just looks really good.
Okay, so you got so many components. You get these ramen noodles with an egg on top and also some char siu pork. And then they also add this shrimp and chili paste, which I think is the Singaporean addition to this whole very fusion noodle dish. And then you also get this thing here, which we believe is called Gong Heng. And it's made of pork and shrimp, and it has a skin consisting of bean curd, and it's also fried, and it tastes really good, I must say. It's a little bit sweet, and then it's also seasoned with 5 spice powder. It's really good. And then of course these wontons here in an extra soup. So these wonton dumplings are filled with a mix of shrimp and pork as well. And it has a really nice consistency and also some nice flavor.
It is just a really good noodle dish. The noodles are not the thicker ramen noodles, but more like thinner egg vermicelli. And they are on point. They're really al dente, and then the flavor is super well rounded. A little bit spicy, quite sweet at times. It's just all very flavorful. And so I really like this dish, and there's a reason why this place is really popular. So yes, we would also give it the Bib Gourmand award from us.
Zoeandsimon Bib Gourmand.
And Simon Bib Gourmand award.
If it's even pronounced that way.
It's the way we pronounce it. So after this nice meal, we are really craving a coffee to give us some more energy for the next few stops. We've actually never tried flash coffee before, although it is a Singapore original and one of the fastest growing coffee chains here in Asia. And they say they are tech enabled. So that means they have an app and you can order the coffee so that you can directly pick it up when it's ready. This looks like a flash coffee ad. Please wait some more.
Okay, we are way too early because it's actually right next door. I got my Mediocre latte, I think that's what they call it, with palm sugar. It is sweet, but not too sweet. I had imagined it even sweeter. I think it's nice. It's like a little dessert to our Singapore ramen dish. It actually has my complete name written on there. And so it's like the opposite of a Starbucks coffee, which has your misspelled first name. This one just has your complete full name. So while other countries have street food markets, Singapore has its hawker centres where all the different stalls are just managed under one roof, which is quite cool because they can all use the same sanitary system, same water supply, and I think all the dishes are also cleaned in one space, and yeah, everything is managed. And we are in one of these hawker centres right now that is called Amoy Street Food Centre, just to have a little snack.
So this here is a currypuff, and it's a very popular snack all over Asia, but mainly in Malaysia, Indonesia, and of course here as well. And this one is with chicken and potato in a curry form in this pastry. And I think the history behind this is that at some point the Portuguese brought empanadas here, and this is a kind of empanada. Okay, well, this is not the prettiest food to eat, but it's really tasty. The pastry is super flaky and buttery, as you can see, because you can't really eat this without getting crumbs everywhere. But the filling is very tasty. It's quite thick, and I think it's supposed to be that way so it doesn't just ooze out of the whole thing. And it's quite spicy, It's got really intense and deep flavor, which is quite surprising for such a small snack. I really like it. Just maybe that you should always have something to wash your hands with close by, because this will get very messy. We are now heading to the next food center, which is Maxwell Food Center, for some famous Hainanese chicken rice, which is pretty much one of the national dishes of Singapore. This place is super popular and quite famous also because Anthony Bourdain visited this place and really liked it. So I hope we're gonna like it too.
Here we are, Tian Hainanese Chicken Rice. Hainanese, right?
Yeah,
Hainan because it's from Hainan, which is an island in China.
Yes, that's what we learned from Wikipedia.
Okay, I'm super excited to see what the chicken tastes like that beat Gordon Ramsay in a competition in 2013. I just read about that, but it's quite interesting. Gordon Ramsay was in Singapore and he challenged street hawkers to cook better Singaporean dishes than him. And guess who won the Hainanese Chicken Rice challenge? It was this dish on my place. I like the dressing that they serve with the chicken here. It's not just a simple soy sauce. I think it's like a homemade sauce. The rice evens out the spiciness of the sauce quite well. And then this soft and tender chicken just makes a really good dish. Actually, let me taste the rice on its own. Okay, the rice is super fluffy and cooked to perfection. And it's also quite fragrant. I wonder what kind of spices they put in the water they boil it in. I don't know, but it's pretty good rice. Maybe even the best rice I ever had. I don't know. You also get some cucumber on the side with it, but I don't know. I don't know how much it adds to the dish.
Best cucumber you ever had?
No, not really. That is a good lunch.
Now the portion we ordered here doesn't really look like much because we ordered the small version, but it tastes like a lot. And also, it's quite affordable. I think this portion costs $3.50. So that's a really good price. I think it is quite a surprising dish because, I mean, normally I think boiled chicken would be my least favorite way of preparing a chicken. But this is a very good chicken because it is so soft. I think now I'm a fan of Hainanese chicken rice. I'm really so full. It's really good that we're gonna have just a small break from eating and oh no.
So we just got inspired by a lady on the street who was eating these. She had a bag with her that told us where she got them from, so we had to go there. It's called Tong Heng Traditional Cantonese Pastries, and we got 2 pastries from there. This one has a red bean filling and also salted egg yolk in it, it said. So I'm very interested to see what it tastes like. Okay, so the dough is very buttery and rich, which is good if you just ate 3 Singaporean dishes and will continue to eat for the rest of the day. You can definitely taste the red beans. Almost tastes like dates because it's such a thick filling and super sweet, but it's good.
We also got this coconut egg tart. It's quite eggy at first, but then there's a nice and raw coconut flavor that comes through, and also you can taste that there are quite a lot of coconutty strands in there. The pastry is also really buttery and very flaky, so overall, not bad. So this is actually the next day. We went shopping, and in a food court here in a mall, we saw these nice dishes that we also wanted to try, and so we'll do a quick tour of all of them.
Rojak is an Indonesian salad, but it's not the leafy green salad that you might think of, but more of a fruit salad. with also some raw vegetables and a dressing that is made of palm sugar. So let's try it. It also has some peanuts on it, which I love. It's already a good sign. And I have some cucumber here. I love the dressing because it also has some chili in it, I think. So it's sweet and spicy, and it has the consistency of hoisin sauce. Also some similarities, I think, personally. Tastes a bit similar, and I love hoisin sauce. And then together with the chili, which gives it a nice spiciness, just perfect dressing, I think. There's also some fried dough in it. They're like very big, fried, fatty croutons.
So we have here the popiah, and this reminds me a little bit of a mix of a wrap, a spring roll, but also a Korean kimbap sushi roll. So this is, I guess, a Chinese version of that. The outer wrapper is actually a thin crepe, and then there are all kinds of ingredients for the filling. This one has a lot of bean sprouts in it and some egg, and also I think some radish.
It was always going to be a disaster.
Way too big of a piece. Okay, eating this can get quite messy, especially with chopsticks. It will just easily fall apart. But I really like the taste. Also quite sweet, but also the intense flavors from the shrimp paste and everything. That was a good quick snack round. Now back to Simon and Zoe from yesterday.
We just had to get some refreshments at 7-Eleven, and I went for a salty lychee drink without any calories and without food coloring. So, and it's actually good. It doesn't even taste very salty, which I was afraid of, but it does taste like lychee. It's nice. Recommendation. I think it's Malaysian. I love it that you get so many different Asian products here, like from all over Asia. Just at the normal supermarkets and 7-Elevens, and also on the streets, of course.
Everywhere, basically.
Okay, so we have one dish left that we really want to try here in Singapore, and it's called laksa. It's very popular amongst Singaporeans, and it's a noodle soup with a thick coconut broth and some rice noodles.
And we're on our way to the People's Park complex, which is actually this beautiful building behind us, and at the bottom they have a food court with a lot of different food options, and we hope that we're gonna find the famous laksa there. Okay, that was a fail, unfortunately. The place we wanted to go to at the People's Park food court was closed, and the other places that served laksa, there were only two. They didn't look too great, and so we now found a different place on Google Maps that we're going to now. Let's hope it's gonna be good. Well, we started our food tour in a food court in a mall, and we're ending our food tour in a food court in the mall. To be fair though, the food courts here in the malls are really good, and often they serve the same kind of hawker food that you can find at the hawker markets. This place is called Janggut Laksa. According to their sign, they've been serving laksa since the 1950s. So let's give it a try. It is very hot, but it smells very coconutty already. So we read that there are all kinds of different versions of laksa, and people also have very strong opinions on which laksa is the best and where you can find it here in Singapore. And I must say that this laksa here is quite watery. So I think from what I've read, there are also versions that are much thicker in their consistency, and I think I would prefer that. But overall, it's still a very feel-good soup. Like a good comfort food that you can enjoy when it's raining outside or when it's super hot outside like today.
Okay, one last dessert. So that's really the last stop. Okay, Simon?
Yeah, I mean, we can't really let that mediocre laksa experience get us down, you know?
No.
We have to find a way to end on a high note.
On a sweet note, maybe. I couple of days ago we had a beer in an empty mall, don't ask, it was cheap, and we met some new local friends there who told us we definitely need to come to this place here to try some Chinese desserts. It's called Gong He Guan, and we just ordered 2 typical Chinese desserts. One is called mango guiling gao, and I think guiling gao is this herbal jelly which is supposed to have some healthy benefits, like a medicine jelly. And the other dessert we ordered is a mix of 2 pastes, sesame paste and almond paste. So it's one black and one white paste, and together they look like a yin and yang symbol. So it's like a yin and yang dessert.
This mix of 2 pastes here is actually still warm and quite viscous. The almond paste is, it tastes like marzipan, which is not surprising. The sesame taste is also what you would expect, but it is also quite nice. It's really a type of dessert that I think we haven't had before, and I'm all for it. We also ordered it with some Tang Yuan balls inside, which are, I think, these glutinous balls. They're very glutinous. It's got a very sticky consistency, and then inside you've got some bits of peanut.
I see mango, and I see this dark medicine jelly, but there's also some other stuff in it, and I have no idea what it is. Ooh. Okay, so this jelly is a little bit bitter, and it does taste a little bit like medicine. I don't know if I'm wrong here, but I feel like it also tastes a little bit like pork.
I don't know if that's supposed to
Maybe
be.
that's just the smell because of the gelatin. Yeah, maybe.
So what's your verdict?
Interesting. It's refreshing for sure because it's super cold, and then this jelly also gives you a little bit of refreshment for your mouth and your inner organs.
And your health?
I mean, maybe it's also super healthy, but I don't think it's gonna be my favorite dessert. Okay, that was fun, but I'm also super full, and I think we barely even scratched the surface on all the different kinds of foods and cuisines you can have here in Singapore. I think we are going to bed now and digest all the food we had today, and we will see you in the next one.